So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Digital Media Sync. Yay! It is 9 a.m. We started a little bit later, so I hope you're all jumping in or was waiting just very patiently for us. Today, I'm super excited because I have a special guest who is definitely an expert in her area. So I was just like, I'm going to go to the expert. I've known you, actually, I was thinking back about like how long I've known you, and when I think I first met you at a digital media sync, perhaps. And we've had conversations about online communications and specifically broadcasting and utilizing tools and everything. So this is really exciting to have this conversation live with other guests as well. So I'd like to introduce and welcome Zef Zan from Entrepreneurs Who Soar. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. It's so good to finally be here with you, Julia, because, we've been doing this back and forth thing for a long, long time, right? We've been in the same community. And I've always said to her, hey, whenever you want somebody to talk about live videos, live streaming, don't forget about me, okay? So I'm so glad to be here, and I just want to say hello to all of you who's watching us right now. And I see Rebecca Mead saying hello, Rebecca. Good morning. And I also just started a watch party on my profile. So if anyone's wondering where this actually is, it's actually at the Facebook page of Known Co-working. Because sometimes, Julia, I gotta ask, like, where's this actual broadcast coming from? Because I put and I'm like, it's right over here. So that if you go to the Known Co-working page and you see the live broadcast, that's where we can see your chats, and Julia can actually put it up on the screen, like you can see where she's putting Rebecca's hello. So come join us. Thank you for having me, Julia.
I'm actually, so I'm taking kind of like the production chair a little bit right now, but also
she's doing my work right now. So
that's interesting. So just a little bit of admin before we start, and then you let me know when you want to jump in with the presentation part of it. So just really quickly, as Zef told you, we're on the Known Co-working Facebook page doing a live stream. Digital Media Sync is now part of the Known Live family, and I'm really excited to be part of the Known Live family, which includes Pivot Talks as well. So please go to the Known Co-working Facebook page or nhvknown.com. The banner at the bottom, the scrolling banner, is telling you how you can connect with Known. And that's by going to the Facebook page. We have an Instagram page, and we have the website. And if you want to connect, you email to barb@knowncoworking.com. So now I think we got that.
Yay. And if it's okay, I just want to do a quick shout out because I see some of my connections on my profile page are saying hello. So hi, Anne. Hi, Lorraine. Good morning. Good to have you all. And I even have friends from Malaysia who are tuning in. So woo! We have a global community watching today. And my Malaysian connection, Amelia, says, hi, Zef. And she says, vivacious as usual. I try to. It's kind of early. I told Julia, I don't know what it will be like for 9 a.m. for me. If it was 8 a.m., I know I would still be like, Anyways, I'm glad we're here. I see Doreen is here and she's saying good morning. All right, so let's get started. A little bit about, so the topic today we're sharing is, why business leaders, the 5 key reasons why business leaders need to use live videos during COVID-19. Or in fact, I could have easily titled it any kind of crisis, because I know when I started my live videos and live broadcasting and live streaming, I kind of started it out of a business need. So folks, if you have any questions or whatever, be sure to put it in the comments. If you're in the Known Co-working, Facebook page, then Julia can put it up on the screen. And if you're tuning in with us, we'll love to see who is tuning in. So say hello, because if you don't say hello, we don't really know who's watching. Second of all, if you're tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. It could be California, it could be Malaysia, it could be London. I don't know, because we'd like to see what DMS is going to get this morning.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
New people, new connections.
Correct. And that's what we're going to do, right? So that's one of the reasons why, and I love that you just mentioned new people, new connections, and very important. And I just want to start off is what is a live video, right? And I'm going to give you the description and I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story. So the description that I kind of found that I kind of like a lot. It says here, a more recent technology called live video or live streaming has been introduced that allows you to broadcast a live video feed to an online audience, like what we're doing right now, right? And it's a lot like a live newscast, because sometimes, Julia, I don't know if you get this, but people still, like when I say live video, they look at me like I come down from Mars, right? So I have to, I found this line, it explains like a great, what should I say, relatability, right? Is a lot like live newscasts or sportscasts, or except that anyone can do it because it's on social media, or a lot of the platforms are social media integrated, and the audience can comment and react in real time. And just like what you saw, Julia put up the comments earlier, right? People saying good morning, people saying hello. So that's basically part of what live video is. And for some of the popular live video services include Facebook Live, which what you're watching right now, most of you are on. And then we have Periscope and YouTube Live and Twitch, and there's many more. I know I started off with Periscope and I was just like, what am I talking here? Have you had that experience, Julia?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's like, where am I? Who am I talking to?
Exactly.
You're having a conversation with any number of people. And, you're a lot of times you're the only one who's visible.
Yes, exactly.
And it can seem kind of daunting for people, I think, too.
Many people start off that way, though, because, until and unless they feel comfortable. I know I was like that. Until and unless I felt comfortable, I was like, okay, I'll bring people on, right? So that's kind of the definition that I found that I really like, that I think could be relatable to many people and understand. So here's the question I like to ask people, and I'm bringing up this because it's for business leaders. I'm targeting business leaders for a very specific reason. So why should business leaders care? So when I started this, Julia, I remember also hosting like an actual event, in person, on location event. And that's how I got started. But I also got started during one of my peak times when I ran a virtual internship. And one of the things I said, I needed help. I'll be great. I said, whenever I did these meetups, one of the most challenging things was to actually fill the seats, right? Because you're trying to get people to attend your events. And I'm thinking, okay, I hear many people who say, oh, I love your events, but, I can't make it, whether it's the time or whatever. Right. And then, you know what I said? Since I'm the only passionate one, or it felt like it, let me see if there are any other tools out there that can probably, help my audience get the content or the value that I'll be sharing with my audience, whoever that may be, right? And at that time, I was targeting business leaders, because the business networking events were for business leaders, like connectors in community. So I say, how can I bring in these eyeballs or people to attend even after the event? And I'm thinking, what if I did something live? At that time, it was Google Hangouts. Do you remember those days? Google Hangouts. And I was like, Google Hangouts. Oh, not, I've come a long way from Google Hangouts day. So there was this platform called Google Hangouts, and they were really the pioneer. Do you remember, Julia, what Google Hangouts were really created for in the beginning?
I thought it was created for workspaces.
Correct, right?
Yeah,
Google wanted it to be a tool or a platform that they could interact with their employees, right? And the employees can use it for various reasons. So I started using Google Hangouts, and then they had the Google. So Google Hangouts was more of the online meeting platform, just like Zoom and all that stuff. And then later on, they added this Hangouts Live, right? And at that time, like, what is this Hangouts Live? So what I tried out, so I was like telling my team of interns, I said, this would be cool, isn't it? We can get people to attend our events in person or on location because, you know, they may be busy people. What if we did a live stream or live video? And then we will have a recorded video. Then this video could be used for a lot of purposes, right? So we can repurpose it. And the best thing about that is what? There is a replay button, right? And that's the beauty why I think business leaders should care. Not only it's changing the way we do business, number one, especially in the times of crisis. Like I remember when I started out, streaming, people look at me like, what? They look at me and gloss me over, right? And now everybody's like, Zef, during crisis. And there is correct. How do I do this? Because people are finding ways to connect with their audience, right? How do I keep my business moving? How do I stay in momentum? And which is the most important thing. How can I stay relevant, right? So that's one of the reasons why I think business leaders should care. One of the big things I say is business leaders should learn how to evolve. And most of the times in this crisis, we're thinking about like pivot, right? But I like the word evolve better because pivot is just, okay, how do I pivot? But not only pivot, we need to evolve, right? And we need to innovate because one of the most challenging things that I've heard often, and I don't know if you hear this, Julia, but people often say, back before the crisis, right? People were saying, I often hear this, I'm not good with technology. I don't like videos. I just don't like to be on camera. Now what?
Yeah,
right? We have no choice. I wouldn't say no choice. I'm just saying we are, this is where we're kind of evolving and innovating at the same time, right? And that's what live videos can do for your business. And I personally think, if you're not getting on this bandwagon, you're kind of going to be left behind, right? Because right now, everybody's Zooming every day. Right? Zooming is now a verb, just like Googling, right? It's now a verb. So it's, it is live video in a sense when you're meeting people. So I really think one of the big reasons business leaders should really care and look into live videos is because, it's changing the way we do business. It is a high-tech, high-touch marketing tool in the toolbox. Right. And I'm going to share with you coming up the 5 reasons why I really think, business leaders should actually use live videos. So 5 reasons why business leaders need to use live videos now. And when I say now, especially in a crisis like this, because most businesses right now, or many businesses right now, are just thinking like, how do I keep it up, right? How do I be relevant? How do I keep up with my community? Because some businesses have really had to, pause for a few months. Right. I'm going to get started with number 1. Number 1 is really the reason why I think it's very important. It helps us to stay connected, right? 1, it furthers our reach. And as it is, I don't know, but I have friends from Malaysia watching it, and I see, Malaysia is like probably 9 o'clock at night because it's 12 hours. So you further your reach. And then imagine you're thinking of like, okay, now I have to close my business down for a moment and I have to further my reach. But what that does that also mean is that I think as business leaders, we're always thinking about like innovating, like how can I increase awareness? I don't know why my earpieces just keep coming off. This is my COVID-19 hair, Here's another big reason. And I mentioned this earlier with my story. Leveraging time. This is important. Julia, I don't know if it's you would relate to this, but for me, if I have to attend a business networking event in person and on location, an average, and I tell everybody to put this into perspective, it's about a 3 hour minimum to 4 hour minimum block on my calendar, right? And then I'm thinking, okay, I go to this event and probably 10 people showed up, right? And out of the 10, I really don't know like how many of the 10 would be my potential target audience. And then I would go home and go like, oh my God, I wouldn't go to the event again. But imagine if we can use live videos as a way to leverage time to connect with people. Because remember, first you show up like this. Then after that, what happens? You have a recorded video that can be replayed, right? So you're leveraging time. You're kind of like duplicating your time in duplicating yourself in a short period of time. So I really think that's important. Number one, that's the reason why I think we need to use live videos is connect.
Yeah.
Two conversations like this, like we're like, hey Julia, what's going on in your world? What's new? So conversations, and I kind of saw this picture and it kind of reminded me of how we're engaging online. We can engage with the right audience in real time, right? Not only that, we can do it uniquely. You can be on your phone. You can be, I always joke about this. You can be on a toilet seat and you can still engage with us, right? And it's the truth. We can create ways to have a conversation. Like you have a hashtag, you can like, if you like it, you probably are telling us like you like the content. So folks, if you're here with us right now, Doreen, Rebecca, whoever's watching, if you like the content so far, put a thumbs up, right? And like it. Now, the third one is content. And most people don't really think of content maybe the way we do, Julia. So I'm going to kind of like probably ask for your opinion. Like I always say, with live videos, it's easy because you could just power it up from your phone because that's the most basic. Second is cost effective, right? Sometimes we're thinking in the past, oh, we have to spend $8 in advertising on a page on a newspaper, magazine, whatever, print, right? But now it's cost effective because you can create a video and you can share and it gets faster, right? You can create it fast and then you share it, and that valuable content that your audience wants, it can be repurposed, it can be shared. And I remember when I started doing the live streams from my actual events, I said, you know what? Now that we've done this, now we'll have 300 people who could probably share that video and like that video. And within minutes, probably an hour, you'll have 300 people sharing it. You really don't know where, how many eyeballs will actually land on it. So I really think, we can always create a unique content however we want. And I think it's really important. It could be a sale, right? It could be like, hey, an announcement. It could be a walk, backstage concert pass, right? What has been your experience with live video content creation? Do you kind of like agree with what I'm sharing here?
I think my favorite part of it is it's on the fly and it's interactive. And an example that I can use, which I did just recently, was when I did the virtual walk through the New Haven Museum's Pardee Morris House, the historic gardens. And I was actually physically in the garden. Like nobody could be in the garden with me physically, right? We had to stay distanced. We were shut down. Yes. And I brought people into that garden and I got up close to the plants and I told the history of the house right in front of the house. I told about the plants right in front of the plants. So this was like, for me, it was so super engaging. And, I could see that, what people wanted to see. People were asking questions. And so it was really nice to have that energy.
Yeah. So, remember when we did the actual video of the known co-working workspace and we did that, right? And we shared that.
There was a really great interaction.
Exactly.
The thing too is people can see your personality, how you engage with people, how people react to you. How you have those conversations online in live videos. You are your authentic self. You
Yep.
you can't run away from yourself and how you engage with people.
Exactly.
So it's really lovely to be able to show that connection that you have with people. Yeah.
Yep. Let me actually I would love to demo that if that's okay with you. So I'm just going to share this, and Julia can still share this because I wanted you all to experience what we meant by this. So this was the video that I actually created when Julia and I did a walk. So look, you can share it up so that everybody could actually have an idea of what we talk about content sharing. So see, as we're talking, right, imagine if you do a live video, say for instance, like what if you actually create a live video as a business leader, right? Say you own Known Co-working. So shout out to Juan, who's actually the owner of Known Co-working. Can you imagine if you're doing a business meeting and you're talking about your space, your co-working space, and then suddenly you have two members like Julie and Zef who said, hey, we have a video that we can let you use and you can share this in your live broadcast. Folks, this is what we're talking about, is that the fact that you can use this strategy to kind of get people to the content that you want them to consume, right? Because now it's just not 3D, it's like 5D, right? Julia, now people can say like, oh, look at Julia, she's right in that corner. It gives a different perspective and depth to the presentation or the live video conversation. So this is what we're talking about, right? Unique content that can be shared. People can share this conversation. Look, we're having fun. So, things like that. And that's why I say content is, it's kind of unique. How we can create content that people or the audience, your audience, would like to consume on a live video. So that's the number 3. I think content is easy, it's cost effective, and faster to create and share. And then the most important thing I think is also because we can repurpose it for a lot of other things. Now, number 4 is also very important, which is community. People don't think about it. Like, I don't know, right? We talk about community a lot, Julia. Like Julia and I, we belong to the Known Co-working community. So we're always having, resources, referrals, speakers, talents, and all that stuff. So when we build a community that is loyal and can vouch for you or your business, it's nothing like having a community, right? Do you agree with that, Julia? What's your thought on community?
Actually, I was just seeing a member of my community.
See, she was like, member of my community. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, yeah, community is so important, and especially now. And I've always thought that community was important. And the thing about live video, for me especially, and I just have to go back and admit again that I would be terrified of live video. Like literally, I'm like, I don't think I want anybody to see. I just want to go and do my work. Like, I'm cool. But again, when you are asked to evolve and to innovate, right, you want to take that time and and put yourself out there. And it's great because there is that community there. You bring the community forward. You bring people who align, with your values, with your, and teaching you, as well. I'm constantly learning, and then I'm constantly taking what I learn and putting it out there. And that, to me, is what community is.
Yep, I agree. And you know what? Whenever I talk about community, people often ask me like, but what's so important about community is just like, why do you think we do business networking events? Because we want to have some sort of community, right? The camaraderie. And then the other thing is, I don't know about you, Julie. If I were to hire or work with somebody, I would like to work with somebody I like and know, right?
Right. Oh,
So
for
when you
sure.
have, yeah, whenever we have a community, it's always like, hey, who do you know? That does this a good that does a great website, or who does great Facebook analytics or Google analytics. We can start recommending and referring, knowing that
Mhm.
those people will be vouched for. And I
Yeah.
think it's important because community also helps us do one job, one step lesser, which is, I think, they help us to pre-qualify those talents, right? Because we
Mhm.
already trust and like that member of the community. So if
Right.
somebody says, hey,
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah.
come and watch Digital Media Sync, Zef and Julia's gonna be on, they're gonna be talking about live videos, because you already know Julia, you may not know me. Of course, you're gonna go like, you know what? If Julia says yes, I'm gonna go, right? I'm gonna watch
Right.
this. That's value in this. I'm gonna do that. So I really think community is very important. Fifth and the last one is we talk about, so not many people will talk about this, but I will go here because as business leaders, we always look into like how results, right? Because you're going to look at your strategy and you're going to look at your results. I think, in my professional opinion, live videos can help you convert whatever your goals that you set up for your business can convert faster and better for
Right.
you. And that's a reason why. And I put it here, what are you doing different to get people to say yes to you faster? And from my experience, and I think I would love to have you talk a little bit about Facebook analytics in a little bit, because that's your field and that's your expertise. Just a little bit. Why I'm talking about this is conversion. Is that when I first started, Julia, what people really didn't really think about conversions. Like, people didn't understand conversions. Live videos, like, oh, if I do a lot of live videos, if I show up every day for 30 days, how is this converting? What are my results? And
Right.
one of the most important things is conversions for me, from my experience. I'm going to share this. I don't know if it's going to be relevant to any of you, but this is my personal experience. See, as a business consultant and a marketing strategist, one of my challenges is closing a sale faster. In this day and age, we're sending 10 emails, 5 phone calls, hey, who's your recommendation? Who's your referral? I mean, we don't even know tentatively, when we could close. But what it has done for me, it has helped me like lessen my client acquisition steps. So let's say,
Mhm.
I used to close in 5 steps, right? Right now, because of the community, because of I'm showing up, often, and I have relevant and valuable information or content, I make a second call, third call, and I've closed. And I'm thinking like, okay, what was that? And that's not my only story. One of my clients, who's a dog trainer, here's an example. A dog trainer, we produce like we started off with a weekly show, and then we did like workshop series and seminars. So this is what happened to him. He lives in Bethlehem, Connecticut. So he says, I go to the grocery store. I don't know who this girl is, right? She's at the checkout. And suddenly she goes like, I watch your videos every week. I love those tips. And he goes like, oh, you
Yeah.
do? He goes like, yeah. That's one. And the second one is he also has high-end clients on Fifth Avenue in New York. He says he recently had a young couple, who's been watching his training, his videos online. And he says, one call, and he was taken aback because they knew exactly what they wanted. Because
Yeah.
he goes like, oh, here's my program, and these are your options. They go like, yep, we're choosing this. And he goes like, oh, do you need more information? They go like, no, we watch your videos every week, your show every week. We get it. We know what you're training, what you're about. We've reviewed, reviewed your videos, information. So his closing actually was also faster, less client acquisition steps. So that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, conversion. So correct me if I'm wrong, and this is where I would love for you to share, Julia, is this. So I recently looked at like on Facebook analytics. I was reading, I can't remember where I read it, but it mentioned that Facebook Live, any of those content is actually
Mhm.
like top like a top number one content consumed on Facebook, and that gets watched or consumed more than a static post or like a regular uploaded post. What's your take on that?
Yeah. So first of all, live content gets prioritized basically, right? Because it's in the moment, and no matter whether you're talking about Facebook or Instagram, and now YouTube as well, they're really pushing that out because whatever they can, they upgrade or make better in some way, they push that kind of content out. The other thing about the live content is something that you mentioned from the point of view of analytics as well, is it stays within the feed, and every time it gets shared or commented on, it pushes it back up in the feed. So it's there, and then it's there and there and there, right? It just, so it's exponential. So you can see, you may see, oh my gosh, I got 500 views in the first round while it's live. But then you see the numbers go up exponentially the more that it's shared as well. So that by the end of the day, it's like 700 or 800. And then by the end of the week, it's like a couple of thousand.
Yep.
And it's ongoing. And then it also pushes to, especially if it's a series as well, right? Now that this is something that gets pushed into, okay, you can go back and you can see the series of videos. And now what's going on is that person those people are staying on your page because they're like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? So you keep putting out this content, you keep putting out good content, and you'll see the numbers continue to go up from that perspective. I just want to say too, I have another guest here as well. So this is kind of
welcome, everybody.
Conversation in this last half hour. So,
hello.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, ladies. How are
So
you?
good to see ya.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yes. I don't like that. I want to put everybody equally.
There we go. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I was just watching. I didn't mean to jump in, but then I thought, why not? So
yeah, why not? That's
on.
how we have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you kind of like what you're seeing at the moment, Rick? Like, am I spot on?
Yeah, I think so.
Rick's like, oh, Zef, you just put me on the spot.
Yeah, no, I absolutely think so. What you're saying about what Julia's saying right now about live content being given priority, I think there's two aspects to that. One, I think for these platforms that are going live more and more now, they want people to be used to that, but also people want something that is now, that is fresh, that is relevant, that is engaging. Whether, it's news that's good or bad, people want what's happening now. And I think going live gives them that connection to things outside of their home, especially during a pandemic and things like that,
Exactly. So here's one of the things I thought about too, as business leaders, because we have to inspire and motivate the part that we evolve and we innovate, right? And I'm just thinking that if we're not taking the first steps, like how can we expect our team to do it, right? And I think that's very important because sometimes I see, I've heard just by being around and networking with so many people, people go like, oh, I want my team to do this. I want my team to do that. These are our goals. And then I would say, oh, would you like to tell your company's story? Like how you got started? I'll get you on an interview and suddenly go like, me on camera? Like, no. So it's that's where I'm thinking, and I'm sharing amidst any kind of crisis, like even COVID-19 or any kind, we just kind of have to evolve, not only pivot, we have to evolve, because I'm hearing many people are saying like during COVID-19, there's a lot of things that they have to change, and they go like, this is the new normal, but some people it's not like the new normal, it's temporary new normal, but we just have to keep on evolving because yeah, I used to hear like people like, oh my God, I don't want to be on camera. I don't know what this technology is, right? But now they realize without this technology, and I keep on saying this, and I did like a live broadcast sharing, like I was just like thinking, wow, can you imagine without live video or technology such as live video, how do we still stay connected? How can we share the news, updated announcement, because right now I remember when I started out with Periscope, the first thing, people were just like going down the street and just like, hey, this is my town. This is this is the playground. This is where I go fishing. And I'm like, and people are watching because there's this we're all curious human beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people are just tuning in. And I used to joke about this. I'm like, why Kardashians do live shows? And that's, because we're human beings who are just curious about everything. So there is a need for that. And I think as business leaders, if we find we find a way to kind of implement or integrate this into our current marketing strategy, I think we will see that we're connecting with our audience, the right audience, in a much better and authentic way. So
and I think you said it very well. We have at the bottom of the screen right now, community, right?
Yeah.
It's about connecting with the people in a very real way. And I think video does that in a way, live video does that in a way that, regular text forums and things like that aren't able to capture, right? There's much more emotion. It's much more engaging this way. And it's a real-time event we're sharing, right? It's not something that you're kind of leaving and checking later. You're here. We're together in this moment, right? We're sharing it. So I think
exactly, in real time. And I think that's very important. And Julia, if you could just put up the next slide, which I think this brings me to the conversation about us being the business leaders who actually have to encourage, inspire the evolving part, the innovating part. So these are the three, and actually there's more, and I want to highlight them because I really respect what they did, right? Because before this, I really did not know who John Legere is. Like, I'm like, who, But then I realized through my friends who actually are T-Mobile customers, and then they told me about this. So John Legere is one of the most authentic former CEO. He just passed on his baton to another person, another CEO right now. But John Legere, I'm going to share with you also a link. So I'm going to just kind of like pick up the link that I think everybody can just go ahead and I'll probably drop this in the comments, and y'all can just
drop it in the comments. I can pick it up and throw it up.
Right. I'm going to put it right here. Where do I put my comments? I don't see my comments. I can't put comments in StreamYard. You know what? I'm going to put that later. I put it in the private chat. How's that? So you can put it in there. So that's the I'm going to put it right here so you all can see it. So this is one of his previous, I think, broadcasts. And I'm just going to mute that so I don't see it. So it's just showing like behind the scenes, how he connected, or even he has product announcements, news update of products that are coming out. He uses live video, and he sees the benefits of connecting and engaging in real time with his audience. And actually, T-Mobile has done a great job in, I think, in creating new plans and getting the message out there, which is very important, right? Because before this, like I said, I didn't know who John Legere is. And I'm like, now because he has a live video or probably a video that I can join in and have a conversation with him, I can just be there and stay with him. So another person that I shared was, who was it? Marie Forleo. Do y'all know Marie Forleo?
Yes. Yeah.
So Marie Forleo is another person. So Marie Forleo is kind of unique in this sense. I'm going to put in her the link here, and then you can share that. So Marie Forleo, the reason I put her here, and it's important for us to know, is she started out, all right? She started out just doing YouTube videos, right? Because she has Marie TV. Now she even has, she has to keep up, even though she has a lot of followers on YouTube. I mean, she's high-end coaching. She's been on Oprah and all that stuff, but she realized the importance of engaging in real time, because her previous strategy on the YouTube, what she does is she says, just send me your questions, I'll answer in my, my one of my videos. She should take those questions as content of the video. But now she also realizes how important live videos, real-time engagement with her audience. She's also getting on into the live video bandwagon, right? She knows the importance of, hey, I have to kind of like allow my audience to kind of engage with me in real time, because it's important. They need to know. So she also does this to on her YouTube live. And then of course we have Richard Branson. So Richard Branson, and let me put that up. So here's one thing: when I saw him doing his live videos, I thought, wow, this guy doesn't really need live videos, right? But he actually does. And he actually shares this, whenever he has, wherever he is. If you notice, he isn't much on media, like standard media. He's more on like, Virgin has their own channel and they live stream on their channel. So that, to me, I think is important to learn, like how these business leaders are actually, using live videos to connect in real time with their audience. I think it's important. We're learning that from them. So I really like that. And of course we have, which I didn't, wait, let me just put this in the chat for Julia. And then, the other one is I wanted to show you. Imagine Oprah, right? So I didn't put Oprah there, but on my presentation, but I'm going to put it right here so you can see. Even with Oprah, she did a specific like interview using live videos, because she knew okay, we have ads here. I'm gonna say bye. This is what YouTube is. So she did a live video, with Tim Shriver, and she and her team, as you see, now have evolved. She has to evolve from standard, TV media to a streaming media. So it's as important for even a celebrity. And I still see her as a business leader. She's constantly evolving. She's constantly innovating, right? Her team gets her on her toes. So, stuff like this is what I say. It's important for us to kind of lead with, new technology, and technologies, it's not what it was 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, we're like, how do I connect with somebody in London or New Zealand or whatever? But, the technology wasn't there. It was still wonky. But now we have the live video technology. We can go to anywhere around the world, even it's Timbuktu or anywhere, to kind of connect with people. So your take, guys, on seeing these leaders and kind of like getting them to, help us innovate and evolve using live videos.
Yeah, I think it certainly helps to lend a bit of credibility when you see people who have come from more traditional media, or even like Marie Forleo, I can't say her name, but Marie
Forleo,
YouTuber, right? Yeah. And now on the more live format, doing very well for herself, right?
Correct.
I think it gives a lot of credibility to the platform and the technology.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, going live is something that can be intimidating to someone who's not doing it already, for sure, because there is a technological but it really isn't that bad if you get used to the idea that this technology is just a window to you guys right now, for me. Right? I don't worry so much about all the technical aspects of how it works, how do I set it up. Once it's there and running, I'm connected to you. Right? I think that's the part that matters, that anyone who's thinking about this sort of technology and how to go live or if it's worth it, yes, it's worth it.
Exactly.
Those intro steps and figuring out how to get there, you can do it. Someone like Zef is definitely a person to talk to about that. And once they're live and you're working with folks, it becomes much more natural, and you actually feel like you're in the room with people, for sure.
Yep, exactly. I think the other reason, and I'm glad you mentioned this, that anybody can do this, right? I didn't get here because I did it once, I did it twice, I did it 3 times. I made it a part of a learning journey, right? anywhere in business, as business leaders, like I said, we have to evolve, we have to innovate. Part of that evolving and innovating is that we have to learn and apply. That's what I've had to do. Anyone can do this. I even have a connection in Alabama. I remember when I kind of reached out to her when I first started streaming on Google Hangout. She goes like, "You want me to be your co-host? I'm an introvert." I'm like, "That's okay. Don't worry about it, girl." We'll just show up. If we fail, we'll fail miserably together. I think we just have to be comfortable and just want to learn and experience it. After 20 times, if you feel you don't want to be on camera all the time, then maybe you have somebody in the team that you can assign that role, right? So it's just about how are we incorporating this live video marketing strategy into our businesses. The most important thing is start, right? Because I remember when she started, she goes like, okay. Then now she's an expert in it. And she goes like, to think that I'm an introvert and I actually can show up on my own show and actually show up on other people's show for an interview. She says, this is a miracle. I said, well, it's not really a miracle because she kind of put the work into it, right? Because she's always curious. She's always wanting to learn. And she goes like, okay, how do I evolve? And she saw the value in connecting this way, which was more authentic. Because I feel like sometimes, I don't know, okay, I'm going to take Julia's take on this. Sometimes I feel like us as human beings and business leaders, we're thinking like, oh, we just want to shy away. We're just behind the scenes people. But you know what? How powerful it is if you can show up and be authentic. If you're a cry boohoo, doesn't matter. I've done that multiple times on camera. So I'm like, I don't care. No, but if you want to send a message, share a message, I think I'd rather hear from your mouth and see you, because body language is one thing, right? Rather than just hearing it from another person. What do you think about that, Julia?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. I think the big things for me, I am a visual person as well, right? I like to see what people are, what people's eyes are saying when people are talking. I talk a lot with my hands.
Me too.
So, I mean, that's part of me. I smile a lot. I giggle a lot. Those are all things too. So those are things that people are going to say, yeah, I can work with somebody like that, or, I'm going to work with somebody who is in this realm over here. So I think it's really interesting to have the live video. And I think I mentioned earlier that you can see how people talk, how they interact, what really engages them and that sort of thing. What lights people up, right? When we're talking to each other, when I'm talking to you, you can see I'm super excited to talk to my friend Zef, who's a super professional, but she's also my friend. And when we know that we're going to have an engaging conversation, those are all things that are very important for people to pick up on.
And I would add to that too, just from a brand positioning perspective, this is the most raw, authentic way to present yourself, whether you're a subject matter expert or working on being one or not, right? You are presenting yourself in the most real way. I can say literally anything right now.
Yeah.
So, and people watching when it's live know that's the case, right? And that makes it very special. This is a very intimate and raw connecting moment that we're sharing. And I think from a brand positioning level, whoever's representing their business or their brand identity, whatever it is, that face is embodying that brand in a very real way and connecting with people in a very real way in that moment.
Exactly. And you actually brought up a great point, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to share right after Eric. So here's the thing, right? When you say that authentic and all that stuff, here's one of the things that I think we forget how live videos, okay, as business leaders, we talk already about evolve and innovate, right? Here's the other thing. We forget that it's a video. And what's great about a video, not only the body language is a language itself. Here's the other thing. If somebody, so I talk about this, if you're an expert, you're a business person, you're a consultant, you're a coach, and if you're saying like, hey, come to my business because my business is great because blah, blah, blah. And then you add it with a show and tell, like a demo, that just gives a concrete proof that, hey, this is why I want to work with Rick. This is why I want to work with Julia or Zef. Because now we're already 5 steps ahead of our competition, maybe, or whatever, we can say, like, I said, I can do this, right? I'm going to show you how I can do this on camera on a live video. You can ask me during that live presentation and I can answer your question. Do you know how many steps of client acquisition you've already eliminated? And that's why I was big about sharing that, because I said, client acquisition, when you do a live video, whatever your strategy, it could be a webinar, it could just be a show, whatever. Imagine you showing up like what we're sharing right now. We'll tell you, okay, I'm going to do a 5 minutes demo of how do you set up your Google Analytics, or how, set up your Facebook page. I'm going to show you how. I'm the Facebook expert. I'm going to show you how today. Do you think people will go like, oh, I like her way? Because there are 5, let's just say there are 10 experts who can do exactly what we just mentioned, right? But they're going to find one that resonates with them. Because they go like, I like the way she does it better, because she cuts 5 steps down, she makes it simpler, easier, or Rick makes sense, because when he talks about brand positioning, he knows what he's talking about, right? I'm having goosies, if you can just see, because whenever I say this is why I say live videos. I'm so passionate about live videos, because I'm showing up for you. I'm showing up for that person, because at the end of the day, as a business leader, I'm telling or sharing my expertise, how, or why my business, or, work with me, because this is how I work and how I do it. And if you like it, come on over, right? And I think that's where live videos, and if you have questions, I can answer it in real time. Because whenever I watch videos on YouTube, sometimes like static videos, like it's parked there, right? You go like, okay, now I have questions. Who do I ask? Right? So that's my challenge. So having like, Digital Media Sing has a session that maybe does Google Analytics or Facebook or whatever, you can come in and ask Julia in real time, like, oh, that's where you click. Oh, I missed that step. That's really cool, I think. Right, Julia?
Pretty cool. It is. It's really great. And I've noticed like the past, and I have to say, Digital Media Sync, just take a couple minutes, has really evolved, because one of the steps that I think was missing for me when I was doing Zoom, and I wasn't in the realm with everybody. So we would be sitting around a table, right? And then we would have that conversation, and we would be in Zoom, and then we would have that conversation there as well. And then now we're bringing it into the live forum as well. Like, and then we know that, like, oh my gosh, everybody has this question, and from the perspective of the viewer, to say, look, we all don't know what we don't know, and we can help each other, kind of get to where we do know, where we can get that information. So it's a really interesting dynamic as well.
Can I add one thing to what you just said? Because you mentioned Zoom. So I'm going to kind of mention Zoom here too. Many people know, maybe I'm going to say it now. With the work that I do, Zoom I'm just not a fan of it. Okay? Because doesn't matter, it's just Zoom, or you can use any kind of online meeting platform. That's what I'm trying to say. The reason is there's a difference in delivery between just online meetings and also a live broadcast. So in the presentation, I said number 1 was connect, right? The connection part is that's a way for us to further our reach and awareness. If you're just doing a private meeting, it's an awesome tool, or just online meetings. But if you're trying to, spread the word, spread my wings, right? I think live broadcasts will help you get to where you need to be, build that community. This is why all the 5 C's were great, because, it's connect, community, conversations. If you do a live broadcast, you're not only, say, if you have 10 people attending your Zoom meeting, right? You can only brainstorm with 10 people, because maybe that's, 5 other people who do not want to be in a Zoom meeting. They don't want to be camera. They just prefer to just type it, right? Because they just they maybe be on the toilet seat. Who cares, right? But they can still engage with you, right? And that's why I say, if there's a way, whenever you have something to share or broadcast, share it with the world, because somebody out there is gonna it'll probably land in, I don't know, Cape Town, South Africa, and somebody goes like, oh my God, I know the answer. I can help you there, right? And this is what you said, Julia, like new friends, new connections, right? And I really, really think, live broadcast is the way. Zoom just has a different strategy because it's just an online meeting, right? And I just feel like if you have, you want to connect with more people, grow your community, have better conversations, broadcast it bigger. It doesn't matter what your platform is, right? So, that's
true.
more. Yeah.
Because, and it cuts out that step too, right? Because if you have to say on Facebook, okay, now go into the Zoom meeting to have this conversation with us, it's like, no, just go into the live broadcast. Let's just have this conversation now, and let's get that information out to everybody.
Correct. And that's how we do it these days. Yep.
Yeah, I would add to that too. Like when I do a little coaching on the side for small business owners, startups, things like that, and these folks always ask, all right, I have a really good idea. I know exactly what the product or service is, but I just need people to know. I need to meet people. I'm like, great. Have you done any networking? Well, no, I'm too busy.
Yeah. What?
Beyond that, to me, it's like, especially right now when we have a lot of limited social interaction in person, that networking component's kind of gone, right? I used to go to like chamber events and business events and things like that, and just walk around, talk to people, kind of like we are right now about certain topics.
Yeah.
So I think the event is about a certain topic. And to me, live broadcasts like this is an event where there's a topic, and people of similar mindset who want to either learn or contribute or share are there to talk about it. So it's one, real world networking opportunity in that sense too, to grow your business and your presence as well. So I see that connection as well.
Exactly. And that's why, I was kind of addressing the business leaders in this presentation today, because I really, really feel if you're a business leader or even a leader in your community, or, if you're a mover or shaker, I really think people, especially in crisis mode like this, we're always looking to somebody who could lead us to, evolve and innovate, right? Because if we're the leaders making excuses, my business is closed, I can't find a way. And if somebody says to you, hey, maybe you can try to tell your story, right? Because here's the thought, right? Here's the thought process. What I'm hearing right now is like, I don't know how to make money. Maybe right now it's not about making money, but it's about planting seeds, right? Planting seeds, making new connections, right? So brainstorming new ideas, new connections. You need to reach further. You need to create more awareness. So how are you doing it? Let's just say if you were supposed to launch your product, say back in May, and you go like, I don't know how to do it. So let's just say you're an author, right? Let's just say you're launching your book, but you realize you can't go to the like Barnes and Nobles or bookstores to kind of launch your book. Can you imagine if you did your book launch? I'm having goosies right now because I know whenever I have goosies, Zef Goosies, hashtag that. I know I'm talking on the right spot. Imagine, so I'm going to paint a picture. Imagine if you're a book author and you want to launch your book online. You can do a PR, like a PR book launch online, like what Rick, Julia, and I are doing, right? This platform can have 6 people on camera, right? Have people read different pages from your, I'm having goosies, from your book, right? And within minutes, an hour, you probably will make thousands of sales or hundreds of sales because, you launch in a platform that is live. It's just like, it costs a lot to be on streaming media, like TV and all that stuff. Imagine you can just have a small team help you launch it and share it with multiple people, hundreds of people within minutes, and you can sell your book in days. I'm having goosebumps. But that's the truth. I think people don't really see what, like how live videos, and I always love, like, people comment during a live conversation like this with me, and I say, just tell me an idea that you may have that you might think you want to do, but you're not sure how to do it. And I'll show them like how live video can be integrated, and they go like, oh, I didn't even realize I could do that. Even in industries that are highly compliant. For instance, like, legal or financial insurance, there is a strategy with live video. They just need to know how to, integrate it. So
right. And I'm going to use this statement to segue because we got 2 minutes left, but we're not going to lose Zef. We have Zef next week as well, and you're going to talk about how
Yes.
how to use live video strategy.
Correct.
Yeah.
So as business leaders, right, you're probably thinking, like, I gave a little bit like clues and tips today, but next week when I get on, I'm going to really share the 5 ways you can use live videos in your business to get started. Like if you're a business leader, you go like, okay, all right, I heard the pitch, I heard the spiel. Now tell me exactly what I do with my live videos. How can I really use this, right? So be sure to join us next week. So I'm going to give you 5 examples that you can use live videos in your business.
So that's super exciting. I will be posting that information up later on in the day and talking about live videos and repurposing and reusing. This video will be up on the Known Co-working website. So I'll post that link as well, and anybody who has missed any part of it, wants to revisit it, wants to share it out to people, please do so. We're on Facebook, Known Co-working. We are on nhvknown.com and or knowncoworking.com. And then also we're on YouTube as well. So subscribe. And we have a newsletter that talks about what we are doing as a co-working space here at Known, both from the perspective of the actual space and the perspective of our online live streams. So we have Known Live, we have Pivot Talk, and of course we have Digital Media Sync. So please look at the calendar for that.
I just want to thank you, Wiz. I just see my friend. This is what I'm talking about, folks.
Yeah.
When you do a live video and you have your friends show up for you wherever they are in the world, you get so excited. Hi, Wiz. Good to
see you. At the end there, I was like, oh wait, let me. So hi. Thank you very much. And Rick, did you want to add anything before we sign off?
No, this is great. I'm just glad I was able to kind of do a little impromptu party with you. So
I know. I'm glad. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like people show up, you go like, yeah, we're gonna have a party. that's the beauty of it.
They have an information party. Okay.
Yes.
So bye everybody.
Bye everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Week. All right.
Yay!